Joining me today is Snow the Product, Mexican American rapper and singer, who is going to be coming to the 559 very soon. But before we delve into, the deep questions, I want to play a game of this or that. You down, Snow?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna have some fun. Alrighty, so this is gonna be a Mexican food and drinks edition. You ready?
Mhm.
Burritos or tacos?
Tacos.
Tacos. Flan or pan dulce?
Flan.
Flan. Tequila or cerveza?
Depends on the day, but I would say cerveza. I think I always start with cerveza.
Yeah.
No, yeah. A
Frijoles de
michelada
la
right now would
olla.
be good. Huh?
What happened?
I said a michelada right now would be good.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, huh?
Right.
Frijoles de la olla or frijoles refritos?
De la olla.
Yeah. Do they still call you Bean?
Yes, frijol, they call me frijol, yeah.
Oh,
Well, my
frijol.
family does.
That's
Mhm.
so cute. I love it. Horchata or jarritos?
Horchata.
Menudo or pozole?
Menudo.
Team red salsa or team green salsa?
Ooh, green.
Green.
Yeah,
Team red
I don't
salsa.
really.
Yeah.
You eat a lot of spicy?
Girl, I love spicy food.
Yeah. I don't eat that much, like a little bit, but like no puede estar like there can't be more spice than there is taste. So
Mhm.
I like to be mild a little bit.
Yeah. And you get heartburn too, right, girl?
Hmm.
Same.
Terrible.
That's why I try not to eat too much spicy food, but I love spicy food.
I know at the end of at the end of a night, like freaking birria or something, like oh my God, birria tacos, dude. So I had
I'm,
last time.
I'm pescatarian, so
Oh,
I cannot have birria,
so
but
it's-
yes, exactly, girl. Okay, so tamales or enchiladas?
Dang. Enchiladas.
And that was my last question because, girl, I'm getting hungry. I still haven't even had breakfast this morning.
Oh wow. Okay.
Did you have breakfast already?
Yes.
What do you eat?
The leftover birria tacos that I had
Shut
left.
up. I love it.
Yeah, because I had a podcast and then I had
Yeah.
Kaylani's listening party. So like everybody was over there popping bottles. It was a vibe. But
Busy, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of busy, you are going to be here in the 559. Let everyone know when exactly and then the location as well.
Yeah, September 25th at the Rainbow Ballroom. It's gonna be amazing. I'm excited to be back. And you guys always show so much love. So I'm excited for what the show is gonna be like because y'all been following me for a long time. It's dope.
Yeah, you have a lot of fans here. And I know whenever there was a concert last time here in the 559 for you, so many people from other places out here in Cali were coming just to see you.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's always been a lot of love and especially with Latinos and like, my LGBT community. Like it's good to be as accepted as I am in the communities that I represent. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and Snow, you sell out shows left and right. As an independent artist, I remember you saying you got laughed at. You sold CDs, tickets to open for someone. You've done shows even with only two fans in the crowd. A lot of people see your success now, but not everyone was able to see the hard times too. And you've been hustling, girl. You've had a
Yeah.
chip on your shoulder as well. It's been quite the journey, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like for a while there I got a little like, kind of maybe a little bit more angry. I think now I'm in a way better place mentally and I just feel like it's a better place because now I'm like attracting better things. But yeah, it'll definitely put a chip on your shoulder. It'll definitely make you a little jaded about this industry. But I'm happy to be where I'm at and I'm very grateful, Look at where I wake up every day. Like it's a nice thing to wake up to with the farm and the animals and everything. So I have to live in gratitude.
Yeah, speaking of your ranch, it looks so beautiful,
Yeah.
peaceful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, so Doja Cat once said this about you. Everyone knows that she's talented, very talented. You can tell she cares about rapping. She does it as a sport. It's like a sport for her. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you have to say about that?
That's crazy. I know. Like, yeah, Doja Cat was one of the artists that like I feel like was like at her like great moment and actually mentioned me. I think a lot of artists like don't mention me, but I respected that. And she's very talented, dude. Like when you really take away everything and you just focus on like art, she's talented as heck. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm like, that was awesome. That like even that little nod of like, hey man, like I really do rap. I think is dope because she can really rap. So I think it's just it's beautiful and she's very successful, beautiful woman. So I'm I'm happy to have even been thought about in that way.
Yeah, even XB Valentine gave you your flowers. She said she was drawn to the fact that you are able to rap as fast as you can and basically still sound good. She went
Mm.
on to say, that's someone who looks like me, girl. You are paving the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and how do you feel about that when it comes to, people, as you mentioned, someone like a Doja Cat, someone like an XB Valentine, when they are talking so highly of you, like I said, you're paving the way. And XB Valentine is a Mexican American as well. So, for someone that looks like her, you are a great representation for people.
Yeah. I think that's probably also why I live in gratitude now, because I do think that people are like, I feel like before, obviously, I didn't feel like people cared or paid attention to what I was doing. And now as the years go by, like people that told me I was wrong, now they have artists and their artists are following, what I did, or like I am seen as a blueprint for some people. And even at labels, like I've had somebody, that signed to Atlantic be like, they brought your music up. And I'm like, that's crazy, because when I was there, I felt like they didn't understand me. And like now they use me as an example. So it's like, I think it's cool, and everybody, we always love to be able to prove people wrong, or to be able to be like, hey man, like I should have believed in myself a little bit more, because honestly, I wasn't wrong. I feel like I had the talent, and there was a way for Latinas to get in this rap stuff. And I feel like at the end, talent will win and good music will win, and everybody can do antics or whatever. But at the end of the day, it needs to be about the music and the talent and the connection with the fans.
Absolutely. Okay, since we're already on this topic of Latinos, so both of your parents are from Mexico, and I just love how you're always representing our culture.
Yeah. No, I mean it's ingrained in me, right? Like that's what I am. Like I don't do it as a gimmick. I think you can always tell when people do it as a gimmick just because that's what's like popping right now. Or like, oh, I'm gonna throw Spanglish in there. But it's like, no, like it really is. We have to think in both languages. I have to like, I grew up in ESL. I grew up with both my parents only speaking Spanish. They were undocumented. They ended up choosing to go back to Mexico. So to me, it's one of those things where it's like they came here for a better life. They gave us a better life, and then they went back to Mexico and just lived their life. So I think it's an amazing way to have that duality with the Spanish, with the English, with Mexican, with American. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm very proud of my roots, and I'm very proud of like how I was raised.
Yeah. And your mom, by the way, is so funny. I think she needs her own podcast.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, my mom's hilarious, honestly.
Yeah.
Like she's
Is there anything in particular? I know they're hard workers as well. Is there anything in particular that they've told you either growing up or now as an adult that kind of stuck with you?
yeah, a lot of things, even though we have our differences, or like I don't really speak to my dad very much, but things that he taught me growing up. He was always very proud Indigenous Mexican. I never um I was never raised with that. There's a hawk and an eagle fighting, I think.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's wild over there.
He said, hold up.
No, but no, my dad raised me very proud of my indigenous roots, of my brown skin, of being Mexican, of our heritage, of our culture. And my mom just, she told me to stick. Honestly, the I was talking to my therapist, and she was like, what has made you keep going? Like you've gone through so much. And I'm like, my mom, one day, to her it might have been a comment in passing, but to me it like changed my entire life. She was just like, find one thing and stick to it. I don't want you to quit. The next thing you get into, just do not quit. And like it happened to be rap. And then here we are all these years later. But to her, I don't even think she remembers when she said it. But like I said, it made my entire career, my entire life.
Yeah, and it stuck with you. That's amazing. Okay, so it's Pride Month, and you've been open and have talked about how difficult it can be at times, but you stay true to who you are. So, what advice do you have for people when it comes to staying true to who they are and always betting on themselves?
Yeah, I would say hit the therapy. If I could say something for like any artist or anybody that's like working on a career where they kind of like work for themselves,
Mhm.
definitely therapy is a good place to always kind of like have a kind of a zero, where you can be like, okay, how am I doing? Because working for yourself and betting on yourself just requires so much confidence and so much from you, that I think sometimes is almost like inhumane, like how much you have to really just go and not be embarrassed, and like people are gonna talk crap to you, and bad things, and you have to just be unwavering, that it's sometimes I feel like, dude, it's more like you have to be a superhuman to do that, which is, for example, me. Like I chose to make Snow the product because that was my superhero. That was my, alter ego. Like Claudia, myself, I'm very like more shy and like reserved. Like social anxiety is a thing. But Snow the product, she gets to be this like, badass. So I think having that little alter ego a lot of times helps you bet on yourself because I don't know. It's a lot of us have tendencies to self-sabotage or have imposter syndrome, We were raised on trauma, on generational trauma, on things that come from, our line of family. And I think it's important to bet on yourself and be delusional.
Be Delulu.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's Trululu. Yep.
Okay, when you're describing all of this, is there ever a time where you just sit back and, as you mentioned, you're more introverted, the Claudia side of you, but the Snow the product is more out there, right? Extroverted. Is there ever a time, I just thought about this when you were describing all of that, like that you just sit there at your rancho and just think like, man, this is really happening right now.
Yeah. I have to, like I have to. I'm I'm always ambitious. I always want, to go chase more. It's always the game to me, like I want to go and like keep working because obviously I have a family to feed and everything. But I have to sit here and I have to look around and I have to really be like, whoa, like this is what I wanted, because sometimes we forget. Sometimes we're so busy trying to get the next thing that we forget to just look around and really be like, dude, like when I was little, if you would have told me this is how I would live or this would be my I would have been like, yeah, right. Like I wouldn't have believed it, So sometimes little girl you has to just sit there and be like, dude, I did it, like this is cool. Everything else is like icing on the cake, but as far as like what I've got now is like that was my dreams, I made them come true.
Speaking of icing on the cake, it is your birthday month. We're going to get into that in just a bit. But I just thought of something else right now. You mentioned like, okay, yeah, you do have a lot of people who are proud of you. However, you do have those people who are mean too. So what would you say to yourself when you're younger, as well as now that you're older, to keep going? I know you mentioned something about your therapist. However, like it's hard. People are mean sometimes in this world. And it's like, okay, can you be a little nicer, And we're talking about right now in this conversation as far as staying true to who you are, but it's like, there's going to be those people who are judgmental.
Yeah. No, yeah, and it's a rough game now, especially with social media and everything. Everybody feels like they have like their opinion matters so much. And like I said, it can get to us. Like bad comments get to me, and I hate whenever people are kind of like, "Oh, you're too big to do that. Like you shouldn't be, talking to them or caring. Like you should this, you should that." And it's like it's hard. I'm a human being, you know what I mean? It's hard to just sit there and be like, "You should be numb to all this." Like I'm not. I'm the same way that I care about my fans and I respond to their DMs or that I, comment back or that I go the extra mile for my fans is the same way that sometimes haters do get to me because I might be trying to get to a fan and I read a comment, I'm like, it makes me mad or whatever. But sometimes it is a very each one teach one world, There's been people who maybe we don't agree politically or we don't agree, on my identity or my sexuality. And sometimes I do get in the conversations and I go, yo, like, just to educate you, like, this is what it is. And there's been people that actually are like, okay, I respect that. And I'm like, there you go. Like, they're not always haters. Sometimes it's just somebody that doesn't understand. And I understand I don't have to explain my sexuality or anything about me. But sometimes it's like, maybe I'll have one less homophobic person in the world. I don't know. Sometimes I have time. Maybe I'm on the toilet or something and I'm like responding to a hater and I'm like, all right, I got time right now.
You said that's when I have time.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's your birthday month. Do you have anything fun planned?
I'm hosting on the 22nd. I'm hosting in Miami. So I figured I might as well stick around, be in Miami for my birthday. My son's on the East Coast right now. He went to New York with his grandma. So I figured it's pretty close. I'll just grab him and we'll just, hang out in Miami. He likes jet skiing and stuff. So I think something like that. Just really, really, to be honest, sit back and like really look at my life. I get really introspective around my birthday. So just just look at my life and be grateful and be present, be in the moment and just enjoy my family, because that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so are you working on any new projects right now?
I've been dropping weekly. Every Friday I drop music. Every Tuesday I drop a podcast. And so I've been really consistent. If anything else, you can't say I'm I'm not being consistent. So yeah, I've just been dropping a bunch of stuff. I got, in the last 4 weeks, obviously 4 songs and videos. And, I'm working on another one while I'm in Miami. On this Friday, I'm dropping another one. So just staying busy and just, like upping my catalog, making sure that if a fan finds me, they find a big catalog of music to go through. Russ gave me that advice and he gave everybody that advice. And to me, I feel like it does work. So
Yeah. Speaking of Russ, okay, so if you could work with anyone in the world, who would you want to work with?
I feel like Russ would be one of them ones, I think it just makes sense. We have a song with Tech 9, but we've never done a song alone. I feel like Joyner Lucas is dope. I feel like, obviously in the reggaeton world, there's a bunch of different people. One of my dreams is like probably Evie Queen, Gloria Trevi, like
Oh,
you know
okay.
what I mean? Like strong
Yeah, fire. Sheesh.
legends. So it's like, yeah. And then also, just different artists. I like things to be organic and just aligned. So you
Mhm.
know, Kaylani would be a great one. Jesse Reyes would be a great one. Artists that just make sense because we have similar like backgrounds or communities or fan bases. I think it'd be dope.
You have acting on your resume, Queen of the South. Do you see more acting in your future?
I think so, yeah. I think I would like to do more acting. I would like to write a show at some point. I feel like things have been going really well with the podcast. I would like to host more things or, maybe take it on the road. Just different things, I like to make music, but I also want to diversify and just kind of be involved in a lot of different things and have fun. Keep everything fresh and like fun, because I have ADHD, so if I'm bored, I'm miserable. Like I need to be having fun.
That's what I think is so cool about you. You're so down to try out new things.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's the best thing about being honest as an artist is that, dude, if you saw me working with like Home Depot all of a sudden or like, HGTV or doing some DIY, like it doesn't feel out of the ordinary because you're like, yeah, she has a ranch. That's what she does. Like, so
Yeah.
I like it, It's like whether I'm acting, cooking, writing, whatever, it's like, hey man, I'm down for it. I want to live a full life.
Ooh, cooking? You quite the chef?
I'm not. That's why I think it's funny. I'm not at all. I'm actually terrible. But I have good sazon, but I just don't have the
Okay.
attention span to cook. But I think I'm funny when I'm making mistakes. So if anything else, at least I'm entertaining.
I love that. No, so true. You are definitely funny, girl. Okay, so what is something unique about yourself that not a lot of people know about?
Unique. Dang. I don't know. What don't they know? I think people don't realize how much social anxiety I have, which that's not unique. A lot of people suffer from that, but I think people don't know how bad it is until you meet me in person and maybe I'm not on. And then they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, that's just how I am. Like I'm very shy. I also have music that's very like, I'm a player or whatever, and it's like I'm really not. Like I feel like I have it in me, like I could be more of like outgoing or whatever, but like honestly, I'm not. I'm a lover boy at heart. I want to just be in love and be married, and that's all. So I think some of my songs I get inspired from club nights or being out, but like at the end of the day, like I probably should have more love songs if I really am honest with myself.
Is Know the Product dating right now?
Yeah, yeah, I'm dating. I'm vibing.
What is the one thing that you look for in someone?
Being a girl. No, I was joking. Like, um, I don't know. I think chemistry is really important. You know what I mean? I think more than anything, people can be attractive and they can have different qualities or whatever, but at the end of the day, like you really have to make sure that that chemistry is there because, like I said, I'm a long-term relationship type person, so I like it to always just feel like we're really into each other, and if we're not, or if it's something where either of us feels like we're settling or we're then I don't really want that. Like I said, I want a full life. I want to experience everything. I love, and I want to like feel it all the way. So that's, I guess, this is the longest I've ever been single, so it's been 2 years of me being single, and I feel like I finally am like knowing for sure like what I want and like who I am.
Yeah, and you're saying this is the longest. So, what would you say is something that stood out to you that you've learned within this time frame about yourself, most importantly?
I think a lot of the guilt trauma probably that we have from like being children, like our parents not really being ready to parent us. Sometimes maybe they made some mistakes along the way that maybe kind of like traumatized us a little bit. So I think you carry that on to your partners, and you kind of like you end up kind of finding people that are similar to your parents in some toxic ways. And I think until you figure all that out from your childhood and that and your trauma, then you'll probably attract a better person. But I feel like I've definitely attracted people that maybe that reminded me of my mom. I'm assuming the mommy issues are there. So I'm like, I feel like I'm finally getting to a healthy place where I can now maybe find a person for me.
So you would say now you're ready.
I'm more ready than I've ever been, I think. But I'm also not rushing anything. I want to make sure that I don't make a mistake. I'm kind of scared. I will say that. I'm like, if there's something that's happened now after all this time, I think is that now I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling good by myself. I don't know that I want to make a mistake again. So it'll make you nervous sometimes.
And hey, you brought up your past as a child. So I was curious, did you ever play sports growing up?
Yeah, yeah. I played soccer like
Oh,
for
okay. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I'm a good team member. I feel like, and that's another thing. I feel like other than being on stage, when you would like kick the ball and like score a goal, like that feeling you get inside, like things don't compare to that. You know what I mean? Like that's just a feeling. It's just such a great feeling that other than being on stage and just like sold out show and the people being there, like these highs that you feel like they don't get beat by very many things, you know. So at the same time, I think that's why I'm a little bit like adrenaline junkie and like I like feeling everything because I've just I love I love the feeling of just I don't know being good at something.
Do you still get butterflies when you're going to go on stage? I mean, when we watch you perform, you're killing it. It doesn't even look like you're nervous at all. Do you still
Yeah.
get butterflies?
Dude, yes, they're terrible. They're not even butterflies. They're like butterflies with like tools. Like they're
On
crazy.
steroids?
My stomach is like, oh, it feels like bats. Like, no, it's
Oh no, I'm dead. You
so
said
much.
that.
Like seriously. No, yeah, I'm very bad about stage fright and like even like being like when you know when you're about to walk into like the family party, I
Uh-huh.
feel that feeling of just like they're all gonna look at me, they're all gonna judge me, like, oh my God, like I overthink, I get nervous, but you
Yeah.
know, a little drink will always help.
Okay, so last but not least, is there anything else that you would like to tell your fans, or maybe even for someone who is just getting to know you?
Um Shoot, I feel like the experience of like kind of being a part of my fandom or whatever does feel very much like a family. There's people who've seen me for, 13 years, like, and they go watch me every year, a couple times a year, like, because every show is different, because our fans are very supportive, because I don't like fights or drama or stress in my shows. Like, if people are fighting, I want them to leave, and I'm okay with them with losing them as a fan. I want a healthy fan base where like everybody wants to help each other. I just want it to feel safe. I want the feeling of community and safety and just kind of knowing that it's like, yo, if you show up to the show, it's like, your cousin's in town and you're just like gonna pull up and it's a family event. So to me, I love that. I love being genuine, even when I'm going through bad stuff. I'm very genuine and open because I don't want to go through it alone. And I do find that that comfort in my community. So I like to be close with my fans. That's my family, that's who really, and I'm not saying that to be cliche or to just be another artist that says that. It really is. That's why I did this was I wanted that feeling of family and that's all I care about really.
I said that was the last question, but girl, I lied. I have one more. So just how excited are you to be back here in the 559?
I'm super excited. I love Fresno. I feel like Fresno's always been very supportive. The last show that we had out over there sold out and then it oversold like to a bigger and then they opened it bigger so it like Fresno really showed out and like you said people came from out of town too so I'm just excited. I love the 559, like to me all of California definitely has my heart and I this is what I do. I moved to Texas for some years and then I was like, you know what, I'm a Cali girl, I gotta go back. I'm from Cali.
Okay, girl, every time someone lives in Texas as well as California within their lifespan, I have to ask this hard-hitting question. What is better, Mexican food and barbecue in Texas or in Cali?
Barbecue is better in Texas.
Okay.
Mexican food is definitely better in Cali overall, but because Tex-Mex is obviously a thing, I'm
Yeah.
not super into it, but I will say the queso in Texas is better than Cali because queso, I don't know, something about Texas queso is just, it just is better. And And what is it? And I've had some good Mexican food, some authentic Mexican food in Texas. So people are lying when they're like, there's no authentic Mexican food. There is. I had some every time I go to Houston, this dude brings us tacos and they are so good. So I don't
Mm,
know. You find good people everywhere, you know? So I think there's
yeah.
good food everywhere.
We're just talking about getting our grub on this morning.
Right.
I gotta
You're
go get
hungry,
some food. Yeah, I'm hungry, girl.
right?
I love it. Well, sending you so much love, Snow, and we cannot wait to see you out here in the 559, September 25th, going down at the Rainbow Ballroom. Take care, girl.
Thank you so much. And go get yourself some food.
Yeah.